2001, since 2001, people dodged me. Since 2001, people dodged me. Since 2001, people dodged me.
Incoming West transmission.
Hello, everybody. Well, that took me a minute to get started, unfortunately, because I was trying to test out some stuff to try to add, but I don't know. There's supposed to be a way to add sound effects, redeems, point redeems, stuff like that to your stream without having to like be affiliate or anything like that, but I can't figure out how, That's part of the problem. Is I try Stream Elements and it has the loyalty store, but I don't know how to activate it. So I think that can only be active if you become affiliate or whatever Twitch calls it. And then I tried Blurp also, but the same thing is you have to you can't set it to 0 points. It has to have a minimum number of loyalty points. And again, it's loyalty points. So I'm like, I want something where I can add to where I can sort of add these things and use them, right? Without people having to get points and stuff like that. So I'll figure that out later. It's not something you know, super mega have to do right now, but I know there's something. There's a way to do it, right? Cause like there's definitely ways to do it. It's just I don't know how. So let me get Ripper started here. Again, I'm trying to learn because I want there to be sound effects, and again, I don't want to have to go through the ad process, all that kind of stuff. Where is the game? I don't need live split active. I do need game capture active, though. Okay, that's cool. Let's move that up here. And as you can see, I adjusted it. I adjusted my... Whoa! Whoa! Okay, enough of that. It's not even. It has to be even! Wait. There we go. That's as even as it's gonna get. Uh, And I'm gonna test this with the next one. And let me also take a look at this. At how visible the chat is from here. I think it looks a little bit better. Because someone said that the chat was a little small, so I tried to increase the size of it. And as you can see, I reduced the size of the border. The border was a little large, so here I dunked it a little bit, so that looks a little bit better. I did not want to go to continue game. Let's restore game. Now where is it? It should be the one that I labeled live stream. There we go. I'm back on it. Luckily, all I did was the stuff to get the 3 weapon pieces. Let's check the database. Documents. Electronic journal. I already talked about that. Weapon 1, weapon 2, and weapon 3. So I've got all the weapons. Did I listen to the audio file? If not, I'm going to do it again. That's a good way to start this back out again.
The stage is set. The roles are cast for the next game of Ripper. Let the mystery begin. These will be my last game master notes for Ripper. Magnata, Claire, Mendler, Stephanie Jordan, Estevez, Josie Dorset, and myself were playing. This is the final game. It began like any other.
It's on near free. I don't find me a toff soon. I'll be on my feet all night.
Be careful, Marie Kelly. The Ripper is still at large.
It's been 3 weeks since he struck. Doc Annie heard that he killed himself. They pulled a body from the Thames. Cut his own throat, he did.
Believe that if you want. I'm going to Spiderfields. Find a pub, a little rum.
Hell yeah, Spiderfields. Fuck yeah. That's my kind of
The
feeling.
night is too cold for a lady.
You're looking for a goat then, are you? What's in your bed?
Something you won't like.
Without warning, the simulation had become reality, and the death was real.
I've lost her. She's flatlined. Who was playing Mary Kelly?
It's Josie. She and I switched.
Who are you?
It's me, Claire.
No! Who the fuck did this? How did this happen? How could this have happened?
We never learned the answer to that question. The Ripper had claimed his hunting ground, and now those who played that game must live in fear of when the Ripper will next strike.
Very nice. I just realized I didn't actually listen to it last time because I just got it. So, alright, cool. Well, let's see. First, let's check the world map. That's the... Well, since we're here, we can go ahead and talk to Ben. Tell you what, it's way faster to do that than to try to navigate to it.
You're close to breaking it, Quinlan. Don't let up now. I can feel it in my bones.
Alright, so I guess I probably already did that then, didn't I? Let's go to the police station. Luckily, I found out that you can actually adjust the audio volume of the music.
Watch your step around Magnata. He can smell that bounty money.
Okay, so I don't have that no more. Excuse me. Good talk with Magnata. I don't want to go to the Tribeca just yet. Although, really, the Tribeca is pretty much the next place that you need to go to. But, again, one thing about this game is that once you have access to a place, you can pretty much go wherever you want. But that's also part of the problem because it takes so long to go everywhere. You're never really sure what you're missing. You know, why you can't advance.
You know, I know about that Ripper game.
All right, what do you want, a Pulitzer? I suspect Eddie and Burton as much as I suspect you. You think I don't lie awake all night wondering why I can't cage this criminal? On top of that, I could end up being the next one, with my guts spilled on the floor.
Why didn't you come clean with me in the first place?
With you and 10 million readers. We could have a real intimate relationship, you and I.
Oh, voice coming on to me. Alright, Chrissy. Oh, Chris Walken.
Why don't you give me your version of the last Ripper game?
Don't jerk me around, Quinlan. You know what happened. We used to play a Jack the Ripper game, and somebody got killed. A woman named Josie Dawson. I busted Eddie for it.
Yeah, but I heard the evidence was a little shaky and he walked, didn't he?
What's your point, Quinlan?
My point is that from this and everything else that's been happening, I think you know a little bit more about the Ripper than you're letting on.
You don't have a clue, do you? You're not smart enough to be a suspect. This guy is a genius. He created a perfect weapon. It took him years to perfect it. Now he's gonna savor it. It's not just the killing he's into. He's into the power, the intimacy of going inside when all it still pumps. He's into feeling the skin, tight like a canvas, and the warm blood spraying, leaving masterpieces for us to wonder at. He's gonna go on and on, creating masterpieces unless I stop him. I'm the only one who can, you know, because I know what drives him to it. So don't you dare think you understand that killer. Or me.
Just a masterclass right there. Just legendary acting. Also, I probably should have went ahead and turned down. There we go. 2 is fine. But yeah, there's some scenes in here that's quiet, so. Next let's go to Eddie. Let's go talk to Eddie. Got some stuff. You can't talk to him anymore, so.
What's with this murder in that last Ripper game?
Somebody slipped something into the game code that killed her. Because I was the game master, I took the fall.
So what happened?
I rotted 2 years in fucking prison. So my lawyer got him to overturn the conviction. Seems the police held out some evidence. Right about the time Magnata got promoted to detective. It's interesting stuff for an investigative reporter, don't you think, Quinlan?
Of course, we got a bunch of them, but.
Now, why would Magnata frame you?
To bust up my marriage. He couldn't handle that I won Claire and he didn't. And I was sleeping with her every night, doing it with her every night.
What did Claire do?
I'll tell you what she did. She deserted me. He had to slip the divorce papers through the bars of my cell.
Sad. What do you know about Josie Dorset?
Barely knew the girl. It was a long time ago.
But apparently it's fresh for somebody. I mean, it's got to be the same person.
No shit. And guess who's on the short list? That son of a bitch is gonna kill everybody that played that game. There's not many of us left.
And it all started with Josie.
Yeah, so what?
So who was she?
I hardly even knew the fucking girl. She was just some chick that was into the Ripper shit like the rest of us. All I remember is that she talked a lot. Never stopped. Went on and on about that daughter of hers. Drove me nuts. I have no idea why anybody would off her. Claire knew her better than I did.
So who do you think really committed the murder?
It had to be Magnata. No one else had the know-how to pull up something like this.
You gotta feel a little. Feel like he's a little. It's a little tragic. You gotta feel like. So I already did the thing in Magnata's apartment, didn't I? Yeah. I've got the 7th thing. I don't need that anymore. I can go back to the PlayStation later on, but I don't need it right now. I don't need the newsroom. Let's go talk to Soap Smoke, though. He might have some ideas for me. You know, before I go back into cyberspace. So I'm going to have to come back to him anyway, so...
Back off, Quinlan. I read what happened to your last source, and my chest is about the only thing I got left. And I like to keep it from becoming pate spread.
I got to talk to you about something Farley said to me before he died.
Oh, it wasn't, oh, please don't kill me, was it? You know, it'd be ironic if the guy writing about the Ripper turned out to be writing his autobiography.
If I was the Ripper and I wanted you dead, you would be dead. So listen to me. It's important.
And then I just walk away.
Farley said the Ripper kills from cyberspace.
Quinlan, you're going to have to do better than that.
He found some evidence in their brains of some kind of computer code. I mean, something to do with the body's internal atmospheric pressure. I mean, these people were blown open, not cut.
Jesus. Biomorphing through the net? Using a C-space code to control the body? I guess it makes sense in theory.
Well, that's what Farley said. The only problem is he wasn't jacked into the net when he was killed, like the others.
That will be the easy part. Guess the Ripper just puts a timer on the code. It's like killing long distance. Somebody decks in, the Ripper implants the code. My goodness, the victim doesn't even know it's there. That mild case of heartburn turns into instant chest souffle.
Then why weren't the other murders like this?
Because the Ripper probably didn't have the code perfected yet. But he had to be right there. His matrix on top of their matrix. But now that the kinks are worked out, he's got confidence.
How can we protect ourselves from the Ripper?
Oh, that's way out of my league. You need a real techno-shaman for that. I know a guy, Maximum Kang. Now, if anybody knows about this stuff, he does. He's a little difficult to get in contact with. Deck to digital Eden, then be careful from there.
Okay. Look, Soap, what does it take for a man to pull this off?
Hey, if it's in cyberspace, don't be so sure it's a man. It's obvious this person's a great cyberspace programmer. Beyond that is somebody with a whole lot of money, because this stuff is expensive. And it takes cutting-edge hardware.
Doing this anyway, even though I know I can't do it right
Can't
now.
do much with just one sample, Mr. Quinlan. You know, analysis is a comparative art.
Yep. So yeah, of course, you see it continuously builds up about the different characters. You know, so, you know, it could be Magnata because he's the cop, he does the bounty stuff. And we went to his house. He's got all kinds of equipment. He's got money and equipment. And he's a little crazy. He's a lot of crazy. You go to look at, you know, of course, you've got Eddie. I mean, you got Falcon Eddie. Of course, he's definitely got the equipment, the expertise. He's a little crazy, and he's got money from the illicit dealings. And then there's Burton. She's got the equipment, high-tech medical stuff. She's got money as a doctor, you know. She's very ambitious. She's kind of cold. She likes to experiment on monkeys.
Metacog, hold on. Hold on. Jesus, Quinlan, you look like shit. Are you all right?
I had a little run-in with Magnata.
Oh, that creep. Next time he's in here, I'd stick a hypodermic up his butt. Do the world a favor. Are you sure you're all right? You need to see a doctor.
That's what I had in mind, Viv. She here?
In her office.
He needs to go, you know. I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, all the stuff he's learning about his supposed girl, you know. Now, of course, one thing that's interesting is you can't go down to the morgue anymore. So we can only go up to the wards. So first things first is I'm going to go to Catherine, because there's a bit of things I can do there. So yeah, the ambient music, of course, is a little low, but there's some scenes in this that where the audio mixing isn't great. Well, it's not that the audio mixing, because you can adjust the volumes independently. It's just the dialogue volume is really low. So it's better to turn the ambient music down. But it's not like it changes that much through most of the game anyway. Like, that's one thing about this game you gotta admit is like, I mean, it's got decent ambient music for sure, but it's like, it's not like it changes through the days or anything like that like it does in Phantasmagoria 2. Like, they spent their entire music budget on licensing Don't Fear the Reaper. So, I mean, they spent most of their budget on licensing, you know, and paying actors and all that kind of stuff, so. Nothing there. A little gamepad. Atari Jaguar. Yo, Polly, what's up? He is terrible at origami. Ignore that.
Oh, Doc, you look a little confused. What's the problem?
I don't know. There's something strange here with your friend's brain scans.
What do you mean?
Well, this is not right.
Was something wrong?
No, I don't think so, but it's just that we've been monitoring Catherine's brainwave activity every day since she was admitted. For the most part, it's been what you'd expect. But there's days when the brainwave activity radically spikes, displaying intense bursts of activity.
We've been rebuilding her personality. Shouldn't that increase her brain activity?
No, not like this. There's no pattern to the increased activity. You're welcome to have a look. Just use the keypad over there and punch in the date for any day since Catherine was admitted. The screen will display her brain activity for that day. You'll see what I'm talking about. Maybe you can tell me what's going on here.
Maybe. Now this, you actually need to take the dates from the virtual heralds to sort of know when everything's going on. But another thing is that you have to kind of like guess, because like you can just type stuff like this and the game will just do that. But you just do it like this. So you see nothing on that date. Activity spike on the 19th. Activity spike on the 20th. Nothing on the 21st. Nothing on the 22nd. I think... Yeah, nothing on the 23rd. I don't think the 24th is a valid.
Invalid date.
Yeah. So you look through the days that the Ripper did stuff and, or so, I mean, well, you look through the days based on the virtual heralds, and that can serve as a clue.
Did you notice what I did with Catherine's EEG readouts?
The EEGs, you got something on them?
Maybe. I don't know what to make of it, though. Catherine's increased brain activity seems to correlate with the Ripper murders. On each day the Ripper is killed since Catherine was attacked, her brainwave activity is spiked.
Well, that's peculiar. I suppose it could be a coincidence.
Yeah, right. And the Ripper's actually a nice guy. If I were you, Doc, I would check the system Catherine's interfaced with. It may not be as secure as you think.
You suggesting the Ripper's getting at her outside the system?
Or Catherine's getting out.
No, not in her condition. That's not possible.
You have a very limited sense of the possible, Doc.
Ah, yep.
Don't lose faith, Quinlan. We're making real progress, and we're getting close to that picture of the Ripper.
Yep. So you see, this is where, that point is where you start to figure out that, well, perhaps Catherine's involvement is more than just professional curiosity.
All right. Things are getting pretty complicated here. 15 years ago, Magnata, Burton, and Eddie used to play this virtual reality role-playing game based on Jack the Ripper. And the last game they played, someone got killed for real. That was the Ripper's first victim. I mean, this goes way back, further than we thought. What about Burton's secret lab?
Secret lab. I seem to remember something about that. There's a name. George Rhodes. Something about Penn Financial Bank on Prince Street.
Why didn't you tell me you were so close to the Ripper?
Because I wanted to scoop the great Jake Quinlan. I wanted to show the world I was just as good as you.
You were out to steal my story. Why, Catherine? Dodds would have given you your own byline next time.
It's the story of the century. I wanted this one, Jake, and the Times is gonna give it to me.
You were gonna take my story to the Times. I can't fucking believe this! I thought we had something here.
Uh-oh.
Who was Josie Dorsey?
Jersey. Why did they kill her? Why did they kill
Catherine. Who was she?
They killed her. Why did they do it? Why? Why?
Catherine, who was she?
She was my mother. She was my mother!
How can that be? I mean, your name is not Dorset.
How was her maiden name? She went back to it after my father left and they killed her. Why did you make me remember that day?
So now you remember the cane that was in her apartment. That's a J. Dorset.
How were you attacked?
An anonymous source tipped me to the library to a book about Jack the Ripper. It was a trap. I picked up the book, and the next thing I knew, I was in this city, this old, filthy city with cobblestones and hissing gaslights, and I heard horses.
Horses?
He attacked me. I saw him with a knife. God knows what he did to my mind. I escaped. Somehow I escaped.
Somehow, huh? And you don't have much else to say to that.
Have you seen the Ripper image? It's become much clearer. You've got to keep digging for more information Powell might have had in the Ripper. We'll keep doing our part. I'm about to download her Myers-Briggs profile, so we'll see what that gives us. But we need more, lots more, to pull this off.
I would criticize the usage of Myers-Briggs on this era, but a lot of people still put a lot of faith in that. So it's not impossible that it's still used in the future. %73%. Ah. So that can, the picture can kind of sort of serve as like a, oh hey, this is the progress you're making on revealing who the Ripper is. But to be honest, there's not a whole lot you can skip. So my recommendation is just do everything. You know, if you're doing a casual playthrough, because there are some things you can skip, but you might as well just do everything, because the stuff you can doesn't take up a lot of time, and you might as well do as many of the puzzles as you can. Except that chess puzzle. I hate that puzzle so much. I mean, I'm not great at chess. Like, games like that, I'm not that great at. I was never good at StarCraft either. So.
Not now.
I got some questions and I want some answers. Don't you want to prove you're not the Ripper?
Oh, so that's the game. If I don't answer, you make me look bad in public, huh?
Something like that.
Cancel culture, Jake.
You have 5 minutes.
What happened in that last Ripper game 15 years ago?
I don't know. It happened so quickly. We heard Josie Dorset scream. When we found her, she was dead. At first, we thought Joey had introduced something new into the game. But she really was dead.
Why would someone want Josie dead?
I think the killer thought she was me.
Well, how do you figure?
Because right before the game started, Josie and I switched parts. It should have been me who was killed.
Well, why would someone want to kill you?
I don't know. Maybe because I've had trouble with men.
All right. You should keep it in your pants. All right.
Do you think the person that killed Josie is our Ripper?
Well, there's obviously some connection.
Who do you think did it?
Who's left? Magnata or Joey? They're both crazy. I'm next on the list. And I can't even go to the cops unless I have some evidence on one of those two. But I'm not going to just wait to be slaughtered.
But you realize, Doctor, that from where I stand, you're just as much a suspect as those two.
I realize that. So go stand somewhere else.
She's so melodramatic.
If the Ripper is killing from cyberspace, how could Catherine have survived?
That's a mystery in itself. If the Ripper was striking long distance for the first time, then he may have made a mistake. Also, your girlfriend has abnormally strong psychic defenses.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
In a psychic sense, she may have fought the Ripper off before he could kill her.
But also, I feel like that part of her melodramatic nature is her acting.
Excuse me, sir.
I'll get into that.
Are you George Rhodes? Miss Powell sent me.
Powell's dead. Who the hell are you?
Well, nice to meet you too, George. Only she's not dead. She's over at the Medicock doing a great impersonation. My name is Jay Quinlan. I'm her partner. She told me all about you.
Then you should know enough not to approach me. Go away. I put everything where it's supposed to be. Box 759.
Great. Good. You're every bit as efficient as she said you were. The only thing is, though, you see, she wrote the combination down for me, but I seem to have lost it.
Who are you? You're really with Powell. And you'd know the combination.
Jesus, this guy's more nervous than the morgue tech. I like how smug Quinlan is there. He's like, he's having a time. Like that little pillar dodge they decided to add in there. That was completely unnecessary. Luckily, he just goes straight to it.
Incoming surveillance transmission.
What the hell are you doing here? I told you. I'd stop by later.
I don't want you at my hospital anymore. Here's the disc of Quinlan's last interface with Powell. It's the last one I'm giving you.
That's police evidence. You give it to me as long as I tell you to.
If it's police evidence, why is it you don't want anyone to know about it?
Don't question my methods, Claire.
Like you're not questioning mine? I've heard you and Quinlan actually think I might be the Ripper.
Look, we both know one of the original web runners is the murderer. That's a pretty short list of suspects, and it's getting shorter.
As I recall, you did your share of web running.
You have an advantage over me, Claire. You know who did it. I've been cutting you some slack, but I run out of time. It's either you or your ex and Claire. I'm gonna nail one of you.
Maybe I should tell your captain about these tapes of Quinlan you've had me making on the sly. Let him decide which one of us is acting more suspicious. The thing cuts both ways, Magnata. There's a few other things I could tell him that he might find real interesting.
What did you see in him?
He was fun. Not a brooding psycho like you. As it turns out, he was a different sort of psycho. Look, I made a mistake marrying Joey, but that doesn't mean I regret leaving you. What do I have to do to be free of the two of you?
Kill us.
It's just so good, you know? Things like that. All the little bits like come together perfectly no matter who's the killer. But again, like I said, there's a lot of little bitty differences between the so if you remember the Rolodex that had roads in it at the beginning, that has a number on it. So it's 6. You can also type it into the keyboard, which is weird because, again, it's the little ways that these puzzles are inconsistent. Like other places you can put in number codes, you have to click them. Like I said, at the Web Runner's Loft. Here, you can actually type it in if you want.
Object scanned into database.
So the next thing we do is got to go to the newsroom because I got to look at this. Not that. Electronic ledger. Summary of cash transactions between Bergman and Simeon Technologies. Given that thousands and thousands of dollars. Full account summary at well space at address Berman 4. So you see, all these little things I'm doing unlocks new things. You talk to Catherine, you get Pan Financial. You get that, you get access to the Berman well, which you need to finish that line of clues. Again, depending on who's the Ripper will depend on if that line of clues is a red herring or not. But you still have to check all that. So again, it's best just to do everything. It's a waste of time to try to figure out what to skip because you're just gonna waste your time. Now, because I have the puzzle difficulty on easy, I already know the answer to this one, but I'll show you the general idea of it on easy. It's random on every difficulty except easy. But it operates exactly the same. So again, you have 3 opportunities to click these. And if they don't match, then the whole thing resets. Oops. I messed up, see? Again, it's got the barcode and it looks complicated. It's not. It's just 10 numbers that have to match. Boom, there you go.
Item downloading to WAC database.
Again, it randomizes on the higher difficulties, so you can see them here, but you also add them to your thing. So it's usually better just to look at them there because they're a little rough there. So first things first. Escape, damn it. So let's go to our thing and check out our documents. Summary of all recent transactions with Simeon Tech. All payments verified by Simeon corporate officers. Subject 1, terminal images. 2 terabytes of Subject 1 organ failure. Subject 2, moment of death, ancillary data from hypothalamus and core memory. Alright. Transfers confirmed by Amanda Vatek, William Snyder, Adrian Wood. And you see you got all these signatures. And then, of course, you have this. To account administrators from Office of the President. Berman account. Be advised that the recent established Berman account is the property of Vigo Haman, and that this information and all information regarding and all of Mr. Haman's holdings is classified for all those employees with the highest clearance. It should not be necessary for this office to explain the importance of Mr. Haman's business and that of his colleagues. Vigo Haman, so we have a new name. But let's continue in cyberspace. Because we got a couple more puzzles to fiddle with. I keep forgetting to skip that annoyingness. I guess they decided to make it sound like a dial-up sound, but it's like, well... And so this is our new one.
No, I didn't think that blinker grid would stop someone who could spec out the Ripper's murder weapon.
You've talked to Soap then?
No matter, I figured it out myself. Lots of ways to wreck somebody when they're decked.
No kidding. I've cleaned up some of that wreckage. How do I protect myself from the Ripper?
Turn your computer off and run in the opposite direction.
Not an option. What else you got?
You're gonna need a sensor program to detect covert introduction of any malignant code into your essence matrix. That way you'll be alerted to any Ripper attacks. Step 1. Next, you'll need an antiviral utility to isolate and destroy any invasive code detected by the sensor. Finally, you'll need a King Hell compression program to load all of this into whatever cheap shit commercial deck you're using.
Where do I find the sensor?
The Ripper will be able to fool any standard sensor program. You need something special. There's a woman who calls herself ISIS in the net. She authored a sensor program. I know where you can make a copy of it. All you gotta do is make it through her ice. Her address is Cybard.
Where can I get a compression program?
You're in luck. I can help you with that. I modified the source code of Blowtech Shrinker. I milked another 30% compression out of it. Get ready and I'll download the program to your deck.
Thanks for downloading my deck.
Where can I get an antiviral utility?
No, let me surf the boards and see what I can do. Check back with me later.
So you notice one of the things he said was Cybard. Again, one of the problems with this game not having, this game not having subtitles is when because people will say the name of what you have to do to enter the different wells, but it's not always clear. So this one is Psy as in PSY space BARD, which is a very strange thing because it's not like a normal thing to say. Digital Eden, well, that's understandable, but Cybard, okay.
What is the name of my master's brother's son?
Which is actually a clue to this puzzle. And if you know well enough, you can actually probably solve it.
The vulture is the end. For you, it may be the beginning.
Which is also a clue. So, you see you've got all these, and the idea is to, and as you can see as it turns red, you can hit each of these. In total, there's 26. Each of them correspond to a letter, right? So it says, oh, hey, the vulture is the beginning, which I believe is going to be that. Let me see. Whatever. One of them is, I don't know because I do it the wrong way. Not the wrong way. I know which. Long story short, I already know the answer. So, if you decode this, it'll give you the basically thing that tells you have to figure out what the clue is. But it has the thing at the beginning. The real answer is, it's Horus. Just the key thing is figuring out which one is the vulture, because it's not super clear, especially if you don't know hieroglyphics.
Warp space.
We are going to did we already go to warp space? I think we did, yeah. But again, this is one of the clues is to see who was the last person that logged on, because it can change depending on who's the killer.
Weapon 1. Weapon 2. Falconetti's well. Exit cyberspace. Weapon 3. Berman well.
Let me see, because I think it takes a little time before he'll have the antiviral, so. But let me check him anyway.
Yeah, I've got the address where you'll find an antiviral utility that can erase anything the Ripper zaps you with. Anything. The address is Exterminator. Same deal as with the sensor, though. You have to melt the ice protecting it.
Once I have that, he won't be able to touch me.
No, it means he won't be able to insert code into your matrix. It just means he'll have to get right into your face to kill you in the net. Don't get cocky or he'll be picking your lungs out of a shag carpet somewhere. Wofford well. Antiviral well.
See, again, this is another example of like really long animations that. Now this is an interesting puzzle because it's both time-based and strategy-based. Well, I'm dead. Yeah, Yep. So you can't jump on any of the skulls, but over time the skulls also fill up. So you do have to you have a time limit. So you have to kind of figure out how they operate, right? Because different ones do different things. So I'm gonna try to go right. Let's go left again. Oh, I'm dead. So yeah, going that way is a death trap. There probably is something specific on how I could probably figure out how they work. So I think... Okay, so these do the diagonals. So if I do this, it'll unlock that diagonal, and so I can go back. So I can't go right because it'll turn off on me. I can go back here. Go here. Shit. Okay. Here we go. Let's go here. Let's go here. Here. Alright. Yeah, this isn't working out. I'm dead. Yeah, there we go. Time to die. So you can sort of get the puzzle. You just kind of have to strategize. But I'm just going to skip it because I don't feel like grinding it out. You gotta go hacker mode on it. Oh, excuse me. Oh man. Because again, I didn't want to get stuck like on that other puzzle. So.
I have the antiviral utility.
Just remember what I told you. This stuff will prevent the Ripper from doing his long-distance number on you, but the Ripper can still kill you if you let him or her get too close to you. If you change your mind about catching the Ripper, I can bury you in the net so deep that even Cyber Psycho won't be able to find you.
I just like the idea that there's like, you know, this one guy and he's just like the hyper nerd, right? Alright, so the next thing that I need to do, I don't need to go to the Tribeca yet. I'm not sure if there's any more dialogue with Eddie. I think once you, I think if you don't get the photo, once you,
You're making me nervous with all these questions, Quinlan. Big trouble for you. I see my name in the papers.
Here we go. Police station.
Look, Lou, I can prove I'm not guilty if you just help me out. I need you to run a check on this guy named Vigo Haman.
Come on, Quinlan, okay? I got 5 years till retirement, all right? I got 2 kids in college. I got an enlarged prostate. Why should I go out on a limb for you?
It'll only take 20 seconds. Look, I know that good police work is a forgotten art, but you're my only hope that it's not completely dead.
I don't need to run a computer check on this, Haman. I know who he is. I know who he is.
Tell me about Vigo Haman.
He's a made man in the Soho mob. He deals in smart drugs, pirated sea space codes, you know, a lot of dirty stuff. But we haven't been able to nail him.
Where can I find this guy, Haman?
A joint called Cafe de Champ. You ever hear of it?
Duchamp, yeah, no, I've heard of it. I've been there a few times. What's he look like? Maybe I've seen him.
Big guy, got a beard, kind of swarthy.
Sits in the back, heavy accent.
That's him.
Here we go. So they're leading us to go to Cafe Duchamp. Duchamp. I think I've already talked to him. Pretty sure I did. Hey, we got a new guy in the back. Let's have a beer. Why not? Oh, he's not going to give us any more free beer. Okay. But here's where I'm going to turn the volume down to nothing, so that we can listen to the amazing acting by John Rhys Davies.
I'm Jay Quinlan from the Herald. Your name, Haman?
Mr. Quinlan. I know your work well. Please, join me. Now, let me tell you how you fucked me, and how I'm going to fuck you. Tea? Once upon a time, you wrote a piece about a man, an acquaintance of mine named Schultz. Do you remember that particular story?
Well, I read a lot of stories.
Ah, but this one was special. Schultz, the sausage stuffer, you called him. You have such a way with words, Mr. Quinlan. Schultz was a meat packer who had the ingenious idea of using the discarded intestines of various and sundry bovines to transport, shall we say, illicit pharmaceuticals.
And you knew the man?
My dear Mr. Quinlan, Schultz was a meat packer, a butcher, a bovine himself. I owned Mr. Schultz. When your story revealed exactly how bad sausage was for the health of the citizenry, Mr. Schultz was out of business. I was out of business! I had you followed for 3 months while I considered my options.
Is this a bad time because I can always come back?
Absolutely not. Now for the fun part. This is where I get to tell you how I'm going to fuck you.
Will there be actual fucking involved?
Very amusing, Mr. Quinlan, but I don't think you understand. You see, I own you now. Instead of killing you, I decided that I should rather own a reporter. That way I might better avoid future, shall we say, disadvantageous publicity.
Own me. What'd you have in that teacup, anyway?
Well, for all intents and purposes, your ass, my boy.
Oh, I love that line.
You couldn't print anything on me if you wanted to. Now let me ask you something. How well do you know Mr. Dodds?
Ben Dodds. What's he have to do with this?
It was a dark and stormy night, Mr. Quinlan. A young woman was sobbing before the desk of her father. Her father was the city's most respected editor, one Benjamin Dodds. The woman should have been shedding tears of joy. She had just won national acclaim for a brilliant expose on the city's fledgling mayor. Eventually, it led to his expulsion. But on that particular evening, she was crying, because her father had just discovered that her story was based on research that never took place. Sources that didn't exist.
You're lying.
On the contrary, Ben Dodds is the liar. In fact, worse, you see, he managed to hush the whole affair up. Not a word of retraction or correction ever saw the light of day. Not even when the ex-mayor subsequently killed himself.
What?
A story that the Herald did run, I might note. Now, how do you think the world would react, Mr. Quinlan, should it be discovered that the respected Ben Dodds, held by his peers as the paradigm of journalistic integrity, had actually perpetrated an untrue story that resulted in a man's death, and did so as an act of nepotism?
Then I guess we have an understanding. I won't print anything about you. For now.
Absolutely legendary acting. So you have two options here, and of course it changes the dialogue. So
I've been in Berman's well at Pan Financial. I've seen the documents. I know you own Berman.
Very well. I own Berman. I'm an enterprising man.
oh, it's not this way yet. There's some choices you get to
Do
make.
you know Burton?
Should I know the man?
Burton's a woman. You knew that.
I love it. He's like, whatever. So, got two different options, but I'm going to do the monkey one.
What was the name of the monkey in the bed next to you when Burton was treating you?
How much do you want, Mr. Quinlan?
I want information, not money. I know that you and Burton have something cooking. I want to know what she's selling to you, and what she's doing with the money.
I suggest you take the money, Mr. Quinlan. If you know as much as you say you do, then you are a threat. And I shall have to kill you.
What a cold motherfucker. So, threatened to print the whole story in the Herald. But that'd be kind of a weak one, because it's like, well, you just said you weren't going to print anything about him. Threatened to turn Haman into the cops. Ha! Yeah, right. And of course, I feel like this is the best option, of course.
I've got a better killer than you stalking me. I'm gonna nail the Ripper. Nothing else matters.
The Ripper? Is that what this is about? That is nasty business even by my standards. Very well. Dr. Burton supplies me with empathic death resonances that I then duplicate and sell on the black market at immense profit. As for the money I pay her, I couldn't care less what she does with it.
Death resonances.
She's not exactly a female Marcus Welby, Mr. Quinlan. Good day, Mr. Quinlan.
One more thing. Whatever became of Schultz?
Suffice it to say that I should avoid this establishment's hot dogs.
Whoop, I already ate 7, so. And that's it. Once you get done talking with him, that's all you got. So first I'm going to go back to the police station so I can talk to old, let's turn up the ambience now. We'll have it at 3. Yeah, so the sound mixing in this, not the sound mixing, but there's some weirdness about the way that sound is in this game. So, like, you could still sometimes hear it a little, even when you turn it all the way down. Things like that. It's kind of weird, right? That's the big downside of this game, is that while the acting is legendary, the design is, a bit wonky at times. Wonky.
I know all about this fatal game, but what I want to know is why you framed Falconetti.
Oh, hey, trick question, huh? I answer it, it's like I admit I framed the piece of shit.
Well, Falconetti makes a convincing case.
Yeah? Not as convincing as this. Let me show you something. While you were making headlines, I was catching our killer. I got the son of a bitch locked up downstairs. Look familiar?
Falconetti's the Ripper. Where'd you get this?
I didn't trust Burton. I had Department Angels patch deck into Catherine's mind. Upload everything on the Ripper. They came up with our killer, case closed.
Well, why wouldn't you trust Burton? I mean, she hates Eddie.
You buy that act? He's always had a hold on her.
Let's take a look at this, shall we? Uh-oh. That looks like Falcon Eddie. Here's his apartment. Oh yeah. You can't go back to his apartment once you have it because he has him arrested. Because he says, aha, you did it. I don't think you can check him out in the evidence area, but not evidence, but the questioning room. But let me go see. I haven't tried this yet. It'd be cool if you could. Be real cool if you did, game. Give me the good stuff. No? Ah, come on. So the next thing, of course, is to go to the Tribeca. Let's see if she's got any more dialogue for me. Nope. She's just gonna stare at me. Walking through empty corridors, that's the Take-Two interactive experience. I think there's going to be more dialogue with Catherine first. Plus, I can show, what's-his-face, the picture. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I just gotta figure out a way I can set up, like, chat redeems and stuff like that, where people can redeem them. Yeah. I know loyalty points, but I want to set up a few game things, like, if I have to take a break, you know, people can play words and other stuff like that. I just have to, fiddle around with it to figure out what I can and can't set up. As you can see, this part of it gets really, really old.
Doc, what do you think of this image of Eddie as the Ripper?
Good Lord, how did you get this?
Magnotta says the cop data angels produced it. I'm not really sure if I could trust them. Could they have done something like this?
I suppose. They had a couple of officers decked into Catherine's brand, so it's possible. It certainly looks real.
It does.
Any more dialogue? Nope. Okay. Let's go talk to Burton about her secret lab. So yeah, again, you can start to sort of build up the clues. There's actually a lot of clues, but it's not really difficult to figure out the cinching clues. That's like, oh yeah, this is just the answer right here. The smoking gun, as it were. Of course, I know the game well enough that I know, you know, I know all of them, so it may be different for someone who hasn't played it. Which, again, one of the reasons why I recommend playing it. Don't pay attention to the clues too much. But I will say, keep in mind that the puzzles, even with puzzle difficulty on easy, can be kind of tough. Some of them are really frustrating. And the game is plenty long as it is.
I want to know more about this secret lab of yours.
Haven't we been through this?
Not all of it. I've been digging through some Pan financial accounts. Do Simeon Industries or Berman Limited mean anything to you?
Been talking to your editor, have you? What did Mr. Dodds tell you?
Dodds? I mean, what's he got to do with this?
Dodds didn't tell you? Wow, an honest reporter, that's a first. I went to Pan Financial for research funding. They gave me a grant, but it came with a price. My research involved translating brain images directly into audio and video output. The bank wanted me to create a program that would allow them to implant subliminal messages into targeted brains while they were interfacing with cyberspace. I started thinking that with a few minor adjustments, there were other things the program could do to a human brain. Other things that it could make a person do.
Like make them blow up?
Maybe. That's just one more reason I'm going to shut down this whole operation.
Are you working with the cops?
Pan Financial owns the cops. Your editor's going to break the story in the Herald. What really worries me is that I think someone broke into my research well a few months ago and may have stolen my notes.
Well, you think the Ripper did it?
I hope not. If he used my notes to construct his murder weapon, I'm as guilty as he is.
There you go. She admitted she's guilty.
Take a look at this.
What's this?
Magnata says Falconetti's the Ripper. Says the cop angels put this together.
The police did it before us? No way. Use your head, Quinlan. How'd they get access?
Yeah, well, Magnata's got Falconetti in jail, and he's going to hang him with this. I mean, fine by me if he's the killer, but what if he's not?
There must be some photo processor or something at the newspaper that could tell you if this thing is real.
Well, I don't know anything about image analysis.
Well, Nosy, you better find out. Or an innocent man will die, and the Ripper will still be free.
Right.
Oh, to the newsroom. This one's kind of annoying, because first off, you have to go to her to even get the idea. And then you have to come talk to old Benjamin over here. But we have to talk to him anyway. See, it kind of like comes together when you're not trying to speedrun it.
Do you know a Vigo Haman?
He's a player with the mob. Supposed to be affiliated with the Andolina family, but the word on the street is that he freelances.
Ben, are you working on a story with Claire Burton?
How'd you hear that? Burton wouldn't tell you that.
She didn't. I found out on my own. Ace reporter, remember?
Do me a favor. This has nothing to do with the Ripper. Stay off it, Quinlan.
Okay, Ben, but there's something I need to know. Burton says that she's working on a story with you to bust some illegal ops at Pan Financial. Is she scamming me?
Between you and me, the one reason this story isn't ready to break is that I'm not sure she's giving me all the facts.
Vigo Haman says he's got some dirt on your daughter. Is it true?
What did he tell you?
Something about her running a bad story, and you covering up for her. It's not true, is it, Ben?
She was my daughter, Quinlan.
Oh, Ben, come on.
I've got this story. If I run it, he's going to go public. What are you going to do?
Run the damn thing. The hell with it.
Oh, Ben.
Do we have a current audio-visual editor here?
Sure. Schneider should have one on his desk, this center one by the window.
Oh, Schneider. That's right, Dr. Jouix Ferguson. Reporting for Malt. Z-tip. Breaking your fingers by using the CD holes. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense grammatically, but whatever. Oh yeah, I'm just finishing up this one because I wanted to make sure that I go ahead and do up the finale, because luckily there's plenty to do to get a full stream with everything. All right, let's go to here. Into this picture and let's do an analysis. We're gonna scan it for Photoshop. gotta run it through all the filters first. It's gotta do the like dog filter and all that, and the Chad filter. That's right. It's an important Z tip. Uh-oh. 98% probability. Oh no, probability. That's an important thing. Probability. There's actually a decent number of typos in this game. It's kind of funny. So once you do that analysis, which you do indeed have to do, so you got to go to the police station. Professional Robert Bility, that's right. Doctor, not doctor, but Professor Robert Bility. How you doing today, Bloom? Let me drop one of these little SOs in there. Let me make sure it'll work. Hell yeah. Yeah, we're gonna give a shout out here. Go check out Bloomaloo. He's always doing good stuff. Did it work? There you go, playing the Fatal Frame games. Them scary picture taking games. Yeah. And of course, you're also gonna be you're gonna be continuing 4 next time, I believe, Resident Evil 4. So that's gonna be awesome.
I know this image of Eddie is a fake.
You're full of shit, Quinlan. I had a half a dozen angels working our girl's head with Tanaka synopticons.
I ran it through an imaging program. Came up with 7 instances of image falsification.
So I bent the rules a little. What do you care?
I don't think you bent the rules. I think I heard him snap.
I'll rewrite the damn rules if that's what it takes to nail Eddie.
Well, if it's another frame job, I'm gonna have to run it in the Herald.
No, please don't. Not the Herald.
That's cute.
Oh.
Cute. You're gonna need all that cute stuff when I run my story. Because with no badge and no bounty, you're gonna need something. A front page story is probably gonna free Eddie. And it's gonna cost you a shot at the Ripper bounty and probably cost you your badge.
So fucked like you thinks he has me by the balls.
No.
You wanna quit a bust? Fine.
Let me switch over to Twitch and delete this guy.
He's out. It's on your conscience when he strikes again.
Give me just a second and I'll fix this real quick. See ya, bot. How dare he come here with that sort of cheap viewers at hotel whatever. I ain't worried about all that.
Don't think any of these developments lets you off the hook. You're still on my list, Quinlan.
It's fantastic. So now I can go back to Eddie's place now that he's out. So you got to go through all this crap. That's right. We have premium viewers. We got the best viewers already. We have the best viewers, and they're quite expensive, but that's okay. They're worth every penny. They're worth every peso. They're not worth every ruble, but I don't have many rubles, so I'm kind of picky about that, but not many take them.
So, Magnata tried to frame you with the picture.
I hate owing people a favor. I guess I owe you one. So does that clear me?
Well, I'm not too sure, Eddie. See, this frame job makes Magnata look bad, too. I mean, either one of you could be the Ripper. So until I know, why don't we all just play it by the book?
See? That's right, every Z-Bug. See, I'll say it again, and I'll say it multiple times, is that he's very tragic, you know? He's a little bit tragic. He gets framed up, the whole marriage thing and everything. You end up feeling kind of bad for him. So let's see. Oh, and there's also one other thing I get to do. Because once you have the handwriting... Wait, did I already go here? Talk to him about it? I might have forgotten to come back. Either way. But you have the...
Quinlan, it's Cable. Something's come together in Catherine's mind. The image of the Ripper's become clearer. Get over here, fast. We're about to learn who our Ripper is.
Uh-oh, end game.
Well, looks like we got a match here. The handwriting on Dr. Burton's prescription pad matches all the signatures of the Simeon corporate officers. They tried to disguise the handwriting, but there's no doubt about it. It's the same person.
Well, Burton's the only one with control of Simeon Tech.
But she practically signed her name to it.
I guess that means I don't have to do that. I need to give me just a second before I go to the final bit. Where's my damn piece of paper? I don't have to get him to analyze the signatures. That actually helps a lot. So this is the end game. So the question is, can you guys guess who the killer is? So let's look at the clues. Oh, hold on.
Go on up, Quinlan. They're waiting for you.
Thanks, Viv.
Great scene. So let's look at the clues we got. Okay, so we know from all their personalities and the history that they all are likely suspects. And then of course we also have Catherine again because of everything. They all had the skill and everything, except possibly Catherine. She doesn't seem to have the skill, right? But we don't know because we don't know anything about her, right? And she was connected to Josie Dorset, so maybe she's killing everybody for revenge because everyone killed were web runners. And so maybe she says, hey, we're going to kill all the web runners. Or it could be Falconetti. He's a psychopath. He's decided, fuck all these people. Let's kill them. Magnata. He's killing all these people. You know, trying to get up to Joey. Wants to kill Joey. Wants to kill Claire. Or Burton. You know, it could be any of them. So all that factors together. But you look at the factors here. Look at the secret lab in which criminal Vigo Haman, she was doing all this corrupt shit. She was trying to claim that she's going to get out of it, but she's tied up in this whole thing a lot deeper than just someone who's working with Ben, right? We know it's not. We know it's probably not Falconetti because of the fake photo. And there's no really evidence to tie him to it. You know, he barely knew Josie Dorset. So you know, you put those factors together, and you're like, he probably didn't do it, you know. And you look at Magnata, right? It's like he's crazy as shit, too. But what really ties him to
we
this?
got big problems. We lost the image. We almost had it, and the screen went static. It's off the monitor. It's out of memory. It's probably gone forever. Burton's decked into the net. I can't reach her. Something's seriously wrong, Quinlan.
It's got to be the Ripper. He's making his move.
I am making my move. Don't be so surprised. You're in a room full of computers. Only 3 victims remain. And you, Quinlan, I hadn't planned upon killing you. But Mr. Nosey's gonna find out what it's really like to be on the inside. Return to where you began. The library. The Ripper book. Remove it from the shelf and dig in. The stage is set. The roles are cast for the next game of Ripper. Let the mystery begin.
And here it is, the final bit. So one thing I am going to do is I'm going to save the game. Replace save game, yes. It's going to be live final bit. I'm going to save that. Alright, you guys ready? Actually, give me just a second. I'm going to take a break.
Incoming West transmission.
Return to where you began. The library. The Ripper book. Remove it from the shelf and dig in.
I found myself in Hamilton Wofford's virtual Whitechapel, and all my playmates were there, somewhere in the shadowy alleys and the fire, before they lurked. The problem was, I had only one shot. Wofford said something about having my fortune told.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I had my mic off when I did the Z transmission thing. I turned the audio down so I don't get copyright struck. I don't know if it'll still play or not, but if it does, I'll try to talk through it so that it doesn't hit me. I don't think it is though. Okay, so it is playing, but you can hear it's very light. It is Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper. So you have these different cards. So you see all of them except that's the only one that you can hear clearly. All the rest of it's obviously, backmasked. So the clue to it is in the lyrics of the song. So. I'm not going to say what it is. I'll let you guys figure it out on your own if you decide to play it. Because, I mean, that's part of the reason why it plays. Is so that you can listen to it and... But the images also explain what's on the card, too, so...
That's the last piece of the puzzle. Now I can take a shot at the Ripper.
I'm a doctor, not a killer.
Don't lose your head, kid. I ain't your killer.
Jake, the Ripper pulled me here from my coma.
I'm a cop.
I love that. His only thing is, I'm a cop. That doesn't mean nothing, buddy.
Don't shoot.
Magnata's the one you want.
Why are you looking at me that way?
Put it down, Quinlan.
It's me, Claire.
Now, if you choose the wrong one, the Ripper kills you. So, it may be if you wait too long, too, but... And if it's not Falconetti, you get this. Extra bit.
You really put a job on her. I couldn't have done it better myself. One must protect oneself.
And he does say it differently depending on who's the killer, so... It's interesting they added that extra little bit.
Wofford said his weapon would destroy Whitechapel along with the Ripper. And so unlike the first Ripper, this one didn't get away with it. Burton's cool professionalism couldn't hide the icy rage of a sociopath. Her clinical interest in the human mind had transformed into something warped and deadly. I'm certain that in Burton's mind, the killings had a logic. But I didn't feel up to pondering the motives of a madwoman. Not today, anyhow.
There we go. All right, we're gonna skip that. Skip that. Okay, there we go. So that's the game. Like I said, to to talk about it a bit. I mean, again, I like the game well enough, right? Of course, there's a lot of like design deficiencies in it. I'll say, it's not the best designed game, and ultimately, the clues, ultimately the clues for who the killer is are super basic. So it's not like you're gonna struggle to find the answer. You're gonna be able to kind of figure it out pretty easily. Um, Again, it doesn't necessarily say it directly. It's not like it goes and says this person is definitely the killer, but yep. Yep, that last little bit is just basically cutscenes, and then you do one interaction. But what I can also do is I want to show you what happens if you fail. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to watch all those cutscenes again, but it's okay.
Return to where you
Okay. Ignore that. Here we go. Oops. There we go. Again, if you want to play it for yourself, just ignore that bit. But it's not the hardest puzzle in the game, trust me. It's a cakewalk compared to some of the others. Yeah, unfortunately, there's... like, you can't skip any of the rest of this, unfortunately.
That's the last piece of the puzzle. Now I can take a shot at the Ripper.
I'm a doctor, not a killer.
Don't lose your head, kid. I ain't your killer.
Now, I don't know what happens if you sit around and wait. So I'm going to see what happens there. Because it'll probably be the same as if you choose the wrong killer.
From my coma.
I'm a cop. Don't shoot.
Magnotta's the one you want.
Why are you looking at me that way?
Put it down, Quinlan.
It's me, Claire.
Kill him.
Don't be crazy. You only have one shot at this.
You think I'm a serial killer?
I was born to tear lives to shreds. I am the Ripper. You will be ripped.
Yep. And see, check this out. So the Ripper pulls his stuff off. And he looks over. Uh-oh. Quinlan is dead. There we go. So, you could argue it's technically an ending. Yep. That's right. Rip in peace. Rip Quinlan. So, it's technically an ending. You get the credits. But, a proper ending is getting the right person, right? So, overall, it's a good game in general. The biggest downside of it is that you spend such a long time walking around in places that, of course, the first time you play it, you're going to miss things, you're going to miss dialogue and other stuff like that and have to go all the way back. Most places aren't as bad as the hospital, but you do have to visit the hospital a lot. So you have to do the thing where you go all the way to the elevator and go all the way up and then all the way down the halls. Some of them are easy, right? Like Eddie's, you just go to where Eddie is and talk to him because you only have to talk to that one guy once, or technically twice, but it's really not that separate, right? Uh, that's the only problem with it. Is it needs something like the seventh guest version on ScumVM, where you could basically, you know, skip all the walking animations so you can actually go to places faster. It would make the game much more bearable for sure. Again, it's not a bad game because it's got so much acting in it that it sort of distracts you, but again, a first playthrough is gonna feel really brutal because you're gonna be going back and forth for so long, so many times. And there's not much to break up the music doesn't change that much, so you pretty much get the same soundtrack for most places. It's gonna feel pretty monotonous. Possibly. Um, I can't remember if Harvester is considered alright for Twitch. I think it is. I wouldn't mind playing it because I actually bought it recently on Steam. Um, there may be. I just decided to play this because when I was doing the stuff the other day, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to play it because I think people would be interested in seeing it anyway. I'm going to edit my video on YouTube where it's just me playing through the game and not me doing the fiddling around with the speedrun stuff. But I still got to work on building the Act 3 stuff, which I haven't worked on because right now I'm kind of at an impasse at deciding what's the best way to do it. Because no matter what, you've got to do a bunch of back and forth, right? You know. And again, a lot of it is trying to figure out what little bitty ways you can skip certain things. Like, do I skip this or do I skip that? And now that I figured out you don't have to do the handwriting analysis, right? So it looks like I can skip that. Um, yeah, I just got to figure out what it takes, like what all it takes, to be able to do it. You know, here's the key thing: is finding out all the variables, and then doing all of them except one, and then like dialing that back as much as possible because, well, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's just a lot of work on trying to figure out where you can poke and prod it because it's a little bit different than a game like Silent Hill, where you know what the end goal is. So yeah, you go get where that is. Those games are about routing, about physical routing. Like, how do you go through the school the fastest? Well, you go here to do this, you go here to do that, right? You know what you have to do to get through it. So it's like, well, you know what you can skip, which is everything but getting the key items to go to the next part of the game, right? Here, games like this are really annoying because they're about, you have to worry about flags, right? You have to flag certain events to happen, right? Overall, though, it's a good game. It's got amazing acting. I think everybody should play it at least once, unless they really don't like FMV games. It just takes a little DOS-BOS knowledge to get it working because it's abandonware and nobody's really made a modified version to work on any other virtual machine or anything. Um, so far the current plan is just the same. Unless something changes at work or anywhere else, I'm still going to come back on Tuesday and continue the Resident Evil remake. So should be doing that Tuesday. I'm not sure if I'm going to try it earlier or maybe or maybe around noon. Because one thing is I do try to go to Bloom's stream in the morning, typically. But I also don't like to do it too terribly late because there are also a lot of European people uh, that may still be awake at that time. And, like Darling and Henry's and Pazuzu, Dainty, stuff like that, that are daytime, that, are going to be earlier in the day people because of the time differences. Um, Again, and my current plan isn't to add any more days to it, but I've also got to work on like I wouldn't say fixing, but adjusting different things on my stream. Like I did the one thing where my starting screen and my be right back screen are two separate scenes, so I can switch between them without it being weird. I've got my little Jouex transmission thing. I need to get myself a just chatting screen or something else. I need to add some more screens to my whole deal. But you see I modified the background where it's got just a single border. I think that works a little bit better because it allows you to see more of the screen. I may do something else with it, but that's what I've got for right now. So, Um, again, and I want to add like sound redeems and stuff like that. I won't be able to add the loyalty points because I think that absolutely has to be that you absolutely have to be an affiliate to do those. But I think there is a way without being affiliate to get chat commands that play sounds and stuff like that. I believe so. Um, you know, again, I don't mind keeping this up because this is useful for me. I know Mask was talking a lot the other day about, change about the way platforms can change and how he does have to worry, and everybody who streams has to worry about the platform both changing, or just things that have happened that could push out streamers, right? And that's why I dual cast is because I like this because it records. Well, it's not that it records, it saves it on YouTube. So if I decide I want to abandon YouTube, I can download all these videos, move them to whatever new video site I'm on, right? Um, that way, because if I'm live recording it while I'm streaming it, sometimes that can create issues. Um, but same thing, if I decide I'm done with Twitch, boom, bounce over. Oh, hey, they're saved on YouTube, right? I know Twitch does have a big problem with their with trying to deal with their bandwidth issues, or not bandwidth issues, but the fact that there's so many people streaming on their website, um, that there's a lot of bandwidth and stuff that's being used, and not everybody is making them more money than what they cost, right? I think they also like loan whatever system they use out to other websites for different stuff as a way to make money. And again, none of us want to see like it just go ad crazy. You got, where you got banner ads all over it, and you've got 5 minute commercial breaks and stuff like that. Nobody wants to see that, but it could possibly happen depending on how things go. You know, uh, of course, some people have suggested trying to make if they want to do the hot tub streamers and stuff like that, we'll have like a adults only section of it. That's not necessarily pornographic, but like less family friendly in that regard, right? In that specific regard, other things like that. Because of course it's the same reason why YouTube has it. It's like, oh, for YouTube, uh, you have they have somewhat of a separation, but really there's nothing stopping people from uploading videos that have unacceptable content in them. I've seen it plenty of times. Um, and they literally flag it, and they'll flag it for kids too. And now it'll get taken down fairly quick, but again, that's it. All it takes is one time for it to be a problem, right? Anyway, uh, that's just. But I do like doing it because I do like interacting with people. It gets people interested in my YouTube channel. It gets people interested in my uh, well, I can advertise my Discord, which is more again. Uh, I do want to like get it to go a little bit. I wouldn't say go faster, but building it up, because again, the general goal is I'm going to drop my Discord invite link. So of course, anybody who's watching is interested, be sure to drop in there. I'd be happy to hear from you, to see you, all that kind of stuff. It's very slow right now. I do try to, yeah, I really hope that it doesn't get really bad, because I don't have a problem with subscribing to people that I like, but also, um, it's that thing that, of course, as you build a community, it may not be always be possible to, like, oh, I might be able to sub to them, but I can't necessarily gift or do bits and stuff like that, depending on how my financial situation is at that time, you know. And I'm also not interested in going into the position where I'm doing this for money or trying to build up a career with it, because I like doing it as a hobby. Mostly my YouTube channel is for making memes or videos that I'm just interested in and things like that. Um, Again, that goes back to part of why I'm doing this, because it allows me to play through the whole Resident Evil series, but instead of sitting down and recording it, taking the video, editing it, maybe adding this thing and all that, and then me by myself having to think of stuff to talk about, you know, or what to say, because I don't want to sit here and feel forced where I'm like, just saying stuff as a joke. It's like, oh, oh, don't sit on that whoopee cushion, Claire. Oh, ha, you know, and it's like just coming across, you know, and I know I probably don't actually come across like that most of the time, but the key thing is like, especially if you go on my YouTube and look at some of my older videos, you can see I was very camera shy, and I also have a tendency to I can get kind of droll where and where I get kind of monotone and everything, where I'm just kind of like more or less thinking out loud, and I don't want it to be like that. Where if it's people talking, I can sort of interact and come up with new things to talk about and be a little bit more interested in what I'm saying, because I can also be the type of gamer where I will shut down and just be perfectly quiet. Um, because I'm more experiencing it than talking about it, right? But I can also be incredibly wordy, so it's like a little column A, a little column B. Um, Again, I love my Alien Isolation playthrough. I think it's got some funny jokes and some funny edits. I put in a lot of work on that. Um, but still, in general, the whole point is, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, and what I also need to do is I should write like an intro thing. I should write like something for me to say when people raid to describe my channel, and something to say as I, uh, you know, log out, whatever. I've got a bunch of other things I've got to edit with my stream. Like on my YouTube, my weird little logo that comes up is kind of weird looking, and other thing. I gotta edit stuff. I gotta come up with ideas and fix, not fix, but change some stuff to where I feel a little bit more satisfied about it. And I'm thinking about editing my logo very slightly too. But that's just little bits of work that I'm putting in over time. Of course, I'm having to put that in between doing my work stuff and also my fixing on the house, which is a slow process. And um, depending on when the bathtub gets here, we might we'll have working plumbing, except we may not have a working shower uh, for a little while because we have to wait for the new tub to get here, unfortunately. So that might be kind of stressful. Bathtub streams? Probably not. Probably not. I'm actually not necessarily against it, but I feel like the water would make a lot of noise. And I'd be like, that would irritate the crap out of me to listen to myself, right? But we are putting in as much work as possible into that house to make it livable. So it's going to be livable by the time that we're ready to move in, except for the possibility of the shower not working. But we could probably find ways around that, right? We'll take what they call hooker baths, right? Probably not, though, to be honest. It's hot. It's so hot and sweltering in Mississippi. Yeah, exactly. Use honey. It'll attract bees, and we want bees, so. So we just got to kind of like little column A, little column B, sort of put all that together. And maybe if we get to a point where we're kind of settled down, where we're smoothed out. Yeah. Z-tip. Z-tip. Use honey enema. Yeah, they ring my doorbell. They ring the you know, get a ring camera and they ring it, and then it's just like just a bunch of bees, and they're like, hey, come here for a second. But still, it's gonna ultimately be good. We just have to slowly build it, and you know, we're also slowly moving into it. We've got a lot of stuff that's pre-packed, as in plastic containers, because that's how I like to organize things, in just big plastic containers everywhere. And so we're slowly moving those in, right? To where in the end, all we have left is our big stuff that we need to get a moving crew to help us with. So, but right now we have the plumbing guys coming to fix the plumbing. So, all the pipes should work. There should be no leakage, nothing like that. So we'll be able to use the toilets, use the sinks, all that kind of stuff. It's just the tub won't be ready, but we'll come to that, right? You know, so we're putting in this work. So all that should be ready, and that I don't know if that would change that week on whether or not I could stream or not, but we'll see about that. And again, I'm gonna work on making a good like outro for it, because like Mask has got a really good one, and he's got a good plan set up, and I like that. So I've got to steal his, right. But what I do like to try to say, at least every time, if you're watching this on YouTube, well, I'm gonna say thank you everybody for joining me, all the lurkers. Thanks Bloom for joining me. I appreciate everybody watching. If you're on YouTube, drop me a like, drop me a subscribe. Especially if you like what I might be making, feel free to check out my memes. If you like them, give me that thumbs up. If you hate them, give me a thumbs down. Tell me in the comments. Tell me I'm stupid. That was a dumb joke and I shouldn't have done that. And my family should have picked someone else, or whatever, right? Or don't say anything. You don't have to. Especially if you appreciate my memes. And if anybody has any ideas, feel free to drop them in the Discord, because I love meme ideas, or even ideas of video games to play. Because someone gave me the idea to play Dormitabus, and I'm thinking I might at least try it one day. Maybe I'll do like Bloom and have a Saturday stream where I try a little something different, right? Because after finishing this, I may go back and do some more speedrunning streams, whatever. But if you're on Twitch, of course, you can drop a follow. Follow's free, all that kind of stuff. And join me next time, because I'm definitely going to be back on Tuesday, unless something comes up all of a sudden. And again, I try to give information on my Discord beforehand about what's going on with it, if something does come up or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I should be back on Tuesday with playing more of the Resident Evil remake. Again, we're not likely going to finish it, but we'll be at least playing a couple more hours. And if there's anything anyone would like to see, again, join me in the Discord. Let me know. And before I go, I'm going to look for someone to raid. Let's see. Who, how, who, what, when, where, why, when. I'm going to leave the Ripper thing playing, so. Okay, what's Sarzak playing? I follow Sarzak. He's great. Love Sarzak. Sarzak is another person worth watching. I'll drop him that SO, a little bit of SO in there for him, just because he's on. And he's worth checking out. He plays a lot of retro games. He's a little necromancer, right? Right now, he's actually online and he's playing. Looks like he's playing. The ads are up. So it looks like he's playing Metroid, Super Metroid. I don't know if it's a randomizer. I don't think it is. But he's playing Super Metroid. He plays a lot of Castlevania games, things like that. It's fantastic. Right now, Gator 100 is playing Resident Evil. He's a speedrunner. He's awesome. I'll give him a shout out too. Let everybody know. And I'll drop another one for you, Bloom, too. In case anybody missed it. They probably didn't, but still. There we go. Yeah. So, everybody's got shout outs. There's also the Whitest Kid You Know, their official channel they're playing. If anybody knows who the Whitest Kids You Know, I also follow them, but they're just talking about, I think, Star Wars stuff. I think I may raid into Gator since he's playing the Resident Evil, but let me look my categories and see what everybody's playing. Who is playing Phantasmagoria 2 right now? Is he playing Phantasmagoria? He's just walking around in his home, I guess. What is this gentleman doing? Show Sean the Elegant White Tiger King. That's right. What is this guy doing? Is he actually playing Phantasmagoria? Who's been giving him so many bits? Interesting. He's grabbing something.
These are for RIP CD actually on these.
Give me just a second, sorry.
This is Nickelback.
I'd like to rate. I like to rate into smaller streamers, but also I don't think he's actually playing the game, or if he's about to play it. He's been playing for 3 hours.
Should I save that for when I'm together with you? Would be kind of fun.
Because Gator has a good bit of. Let me give him just another second, if you guys don't mind. Yeah.
It looked like it? Like, really looked like it for a second. I need them because it's literally just for that trash bag.
Is he looking for something?
And I wouldn't have put them in.
So give me. So I'm gonna chat for a bit more, while I'm gonna wait to see if this guy actually plays it. I don't know. He may be looking for another disc because he's been playing for 3 hours. He might have got to a point where he has to change discs and he can't find it, or something. So, yes, The Whitest Kid You Know is great. Rip Trevor. Yeah, both Rip Trevor from Phantasmagoria 2 and Rip Trevor Moore from The Whitest Kid You Know. They're extremely funny. Awesome dudes. I love them. The show is... the show, of course, you can tell the era it comes from, so it could be harder for some people to watch, but again, it's still very good, right? I know recently one of their skits got a lot of traction because they do a lot of skits around presidential events, is what I'm going to say. And there was the recent presidential event, and their one skit like started being recommended on the front page of YouTube and everything, right? It's like, well, yeah, what do you expect, right? So it's kind of funny, right? That they did so much of that. But they're great guys, you know. Of course, there's a lot of like conspiracy theories about it, that he was like killed by the CIA because he talked about things like MK Ultra and all that. Yeah, Rip Trevors. That's right, 2 Trevors. Rip on both of them, and they were both too pure for this world. You know. I do suggest, like I said, you know, at least watching some of their stuff. Not all their stuff is like just edgy stuff. There's some stuff that's a lot lighter. Gallon of PCP is a great one. You know, Trevor also has really good music, so I recommend his music a lot. What else? What else do I recommend? I recommend Cats and Hats, don't I? I don't know. I would want to raid Gator, but let me also see what else is going on. Oh, wait, someone else is playing Ripper? Bro, really? Wait, 16 hours? How is someone playing Ripper at the same time as me? What are these ads playing? Ugh. He's probably been playing multiple games. He's been playing for 16 hours because this game is long, but it's not that long. What's going on here? Oh, well, he just quit. Holy crap. He was playing Banjo-Kazooie for like 16 hours. Why does it have it marked as Ripper? Well, that's weird. Whew. Let's see who's playing Elisa.
Just the recommended music. There you go.
I do like Elisa. Give me just in a minute. We can talk more about stuff. I don't know. Sorry, bud. Playing Phantasmagoria 2. Sorry, you're just not. That's what's going on. And again, I like Gator a lot. He also has. I like to rate into smaller viewers or small viewers or small streamers, just like me. And again, not everybody may be interested in speedrunning right now. So, this person calls Hey It's Mozzie. It looks like their stuff is not set to followers only, is not set to and is not set to verified accounts only. So you should be able to pop in and talk to them no matter who you are. Yep. So anyway, I would appreciate it if you guys join in the raid, even if you have to raid and leave. At least, uh, send them my love, right? Because I'm gonna have to go to bed soon myself, but that's a different story. Because I got to go to work in the morning, unfortunately. That's right, Z raid. Let's do that. Okay, cool, and I can raid them. Awesome. That's the other thing to check, because I also like to check because I myself don't have a verified account because I don't want to give Twitch my money or my phone number. Um, again, thank you guys so much for joining me.